Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. My name is Anda Malescu and I am the owner of Malescu Law, a law firm based in Miami, Florida, specializing in business, corporate and US immigration. We can assist you with all your immigration needs regardless of where you are currently located or where you plan to go in the United States. But before we get started, please subscribe to our channel by clicking the bell button or the subscribe button. Today we are going to speak about an E-2 visa success story for a mobile truck repair shop in Florida. The client in this case came to us after speaking to other immigration law firms, and all of them told him that his business model to start a mobile truck repair shop with only one truck is not going to work for the E-2 treaty investor visa. We have done a consultation with the client and we have collected all the information necessary, and we have discussed with the client the risks involved and also areas of improvement in order to make the business qualifiable for an E-2 visa, but also created a strategy and worked alongside our client in order to help him secure the E-2 visa. And the E-2 visa was approved at the US Consulate in Toronto for 5 years, which is the maximum validity period allowed for Canadian citizens. Also, the consulate did not issue a request for further evidence in this case, and the interview was maximum 15 minutes and very straightforward. Another aspect, the processing time, the overall processing time for this case was 2 months, and this means from the time we submitted a complete E-2 application package to the US Consulate in Toronto and until the investor had their interview and obtained their E-2 visa in their passport. And now we are going to speak a little bit about the details of this E-2 investor visa case processed at the US Consulate in Toronto. In this case, the investor who had the same line of business in Canada wanted to enter the US market to provide mobile truck repair services in Florida by using a single pickup truck. Their idea was to actually provide diagnostics and also mobile truck repair services to small truck owners, operators, but also small commercial fleets in the Tampa Bay area in Florida. And once they get the business running and the name, then they will add other pickup trucks to their service fleet, and each pickup truck will be actually equipped with advanced diagnostics tools in order to do the truck repair service at the location of the commercial trucks. Now, the investor has consulted with other immigration law firms before reaching out to us, and from what we understood, the other immigration law firms discouraged the investor and also dismissed this business idea immediately, saying that it is too small in order to qualify for the rigorous requirements of the E-2 investor visa. Now, after we reviewed the investor's background, his knowledge and experience in doing this business in Canada, and also their idea as to the business model and the needs of the company, it became clear to us that the business model in itself, although it is being started with one pickup truck to service small commercial truck fleets or owner-operator trucks. It is still feasible and it is scalable, and it has the potential to actually scale and be a successful business given the market demand for these services in Florida. However, we also knew that this type of business model has some challenges to it, especially when it comes to the investment and marginality. So in order to succeed in this case, we actually had to address these vulnerabilities of this case from moment zero, specifically the marginality and the investment, the substantial investment in the US business. And by addressing and creating a legal strategy, and one that we worked together with the investor to address from moment zero these vulnerabilities of this case to build a robust E-2 application package and an E-2 business to convince the US Consulate that this is indeed a feasible and scalable business model that has the potential to succeed and transfer knowledge to US workers. As a result, we were also able to obtain the E-2 approval. To avoid potential hurdles in this case, the strategy focused on three aspects. One, the substantial investment. In this case, the investor invested approximately $100,000 in cash and an additional $31,000 worth of tools and advanced diagnostics equipment that were being used for the first service truck in order to perform the mobile truck service and diagnostics for the small commercial truck fleets in Tampa Bay area and South Florida area, and also for the owner-operator trucks. 2. The geographical targeting. So with a comprehensive E-2 business plan, we were able to highlight and show the high demand for mobile truck repair services and diagnostics in the Tampa Bay area and South Florida markets. And finally, the job creation. With again a comprehensive E-2 business plan, we were able to show a clear hiring plan, but also the transfer, the training and the transfer of knowledge, of mechanical and technical knowledge from the investor to the US workers, given that the investor actually has the mechanical and technical knowledge because he has done this business for a number of years in Canada and basically knows everything about truck repairs. Once we had the E-2 strategy in place and we implemented alongside the investor the E-2 strategy, we were able to achieve the results we were all hoping for, us and the investor, and the E-2 visa was approved for 5 years, which is the maximum amount of time allowed under the treaty between the United States and Canada. Now, just as a reminder for those of you who are not familiar with the E-2 Treaty Investor Visa, the E-2 Treaty Investor Visa is a non-immigrant visa that is designed for those of you who want to make an investment in a US business, whether by purchasing a business, starting a franchise, or starting a new business, and you are a citizen of one of the E-2 treaty countries. If you are a citizen of one of the E-2 treaty countries and you make an investment in a US business, generally around $100,000, but it can be more or less depending on your line of business and geographic location, then you may be able to qualify for an E-2 treaty investor visa. Your spouse can obtain the E-2 dependent visa for spouses, and they will be allowed to work without restriction in the United States. You can also bring your children under the age of 21 and unmarried to the United States on an E-2 visa. You as a principal investor and your spouse can also obtain social security numbers. As a principal investor with the E-2 business, you can also bring employees to the United States who are from the same country as you, and you can bring executives, managers, or specialized knowledge employees. This is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to our channel, and if you need to get in touch with us, you have our contact information in this video or below this video. We will see you soon. Bye.